the research. This is the, now I have 25 to 30 minutes. I don't want to do I have to make sure that I finish on time. So although there are 32 slides, but I'm going to skip some of the slides. I can see some of the participants are from student background, postgraduate students and doctoral students, mid and first career academics, and there are some senior the professors. It may not be applicable to everyone, but I think as we all are in the world of research, it's applicable to each one of us. Nothing is new, all are old things. That I mentioned yesterday, the academia and the academics and the researchers, they have some the value, they have some the special place in the people's mind. When you talk about the respect, when you talk about the trust, when you talk about integrity, methods, and also honesty. I'm sure that about due to the globalization's unprecedented level of technological advancement, social media, that spread some of those core values and principles we are losing. Anyone watch the TV? At least to some extent, you have the better understanding that education is becoming something different. Research is becoming also something different. Somehow, we always promoting some others' interest, ideologies, rather than the betterment of the society. So means speculation, fabrications, malpractice, duplications, sometimes the huge replications, tampering the true information, becoming new normal for all of us. But still, you all are here. You have done your fantastic research. So it shows that all of us actually truth seekers. It doesn't matter whatever the situations in the world, whatever the problems you all are facing, but at the end of the day, all researchers are trying to find out the true phenomenon. What is happening? And also you are asking very sharply why it is happening. So the research should start from there to understand the true phenomenon of an event. So although you can see there's two parts of this presentation, but I'm not going to go through all the slides. My main intention, based on my last 18 years as an editor-in-chief, not only Journal for Business and Retail Management, I'm also guest editor for number of Scopus listed journals. So I'm experiencing every day, every week, every month, the type of the problems we have within academia, within the researchers. So some of those problems I'm going to highlight and how we can make our manuscript much better so that it will have better acceptance rate. Not only the question of acceptance, I'm sure that you are bombarded by your institution, by the department, that you are required to publish and you are pressurized. I know that some countries, we have the certain requirements that every year you need to publish 3 or 4. I can say some of the academics are always pressurized to do something. So what does it mean? Your minds are not settled. So you do something in hasty manner, and hence you are doing number of research within shortest possible time. So what's the problem? We don't see the data precision, we don't see outcome precision, we don't see the real contributions. The millions of research have been conducted every year around the world, and you know that within the social science research there are more than 75,000 journals, but only 8,000 or 9,000 journals are really indexed, whether it is Scopus, whether it is Elsevier, whether it is Web of Science or others, the main indexing bodies. So you are always sometimes trying to find out what is the best to publish, but sometimes we are not aware about this. So my main focus will be part 2. But also, I would like to go through 1 or 2 slides from part 1. The first one is the mindset of a researcher. I think that's the most important things. All of you are using the methodological phenomenon in your research. I think that is one of the most important part. And starting with the research philosophy, I think once you understand the philosophy of a researcher mindset, the mindset of a researcher, then it will be easy for us to find out the way we should move forward and find out the path of journey. Many of us nowadays, we don't think. I think the Gorik Das this morning, he mentioned many of us nowadays don't watch news, don't watch TVs, because our mobile phone, smartphone become one of the greatest knowledge hub for all of us. So we used to say that knowledge is power, but we don't say that now so profoundly, because knowledge cannot be power in today's situation. You can gain knowledge instantly. So whatever knowledge you have, how you can use very carefully, sophisticated manner, effectively and efficiently, that become the power of knowing something in today's world. I think thinking about your thinking is one of the philosophical dimensions provided by philosopher Sartre. But I don't know, but it is one of the core elements for any researcher that you ask, you seek, you identify, or you think. Not the way the normal people are thinking, rather you go beyond your own thinking category, because you are probing continuously to find out why it is happening, what is happening, and that what is happening or why it is happening, that is the core of your philosophical thoughts. So you think more deeply. And also, a researcher cannot be a researcher if you are not curious. I'm thinking one of the greatest mindset in this world, not sometimes the researcher, but rather the child. A child is the most curious person in the world, because a child will ask anything it comes their mind to their mom. A child will say the word mom more than 217 times a day if a child is aged between 2 to 4. But normally, when you do the class, you will find out a lot of your students are not asking questions. I think the students and academics should become something like as a child, so that you can have the curious mindset to ask and ask, go beyond your thinking capabilities. So curiosity is most important. Discern. You have the knowledge, that's why you are coming here to communicate your ideas, to share your thoughts and your findings with other academics, fellow researchers, so that others will be benefited. And that's the only way you can be known, or you feel much better. Skepticism. I think that if you look at, I'm sure that anyone is watching TV, it's a bit difficult nowadays to find out what is real and what is not real. One time, as human, we used to do the mistakes, and the journalists and the TVs, they used to find out the actual truth. But it appears to me that who is saying truth nowadays? That we need to find out as a human whether these journalists are saying something good things or bad things. So I think a degree of skepticism is one of the core elements for any researcher. And also, as we're always asking why your research is important. What is new in your research? Because unless you are new, you cannot stand out from the crowd. The think about is more than 8.6 billion of people, millions of researchers. There's a millions of research happening. There are millions of articles published every year, but only the few articles are becoming or standing out. It doesn't matter whether you have published Scopus or not. These are the requirements of the institution also. You have to publish. But when you are bringing something breakthrough, something innovative, something new, new to the world, new to the body, or new to the corporate sectors, that only can help the other people to apply some of this newness. And determination, I think this is just climbing the mountains, isn't it? So think about, if you think that, oh, climbing 1 mile, you cannot go further, and you just come down, then that's all. That's the end of the road, dead end. So we have to have the huge determinations to do the research, because research you'll be doing by yourself. There is no fun things. There is no the pleasure things is more or less boredom. So you have to be motivated by yourself. You have to be empowered by yourself. So hence need strong commitment and determination, and then focus. So that's I wanted to show. But let's move to the I'm going to skip all this. My main focus is second part, the part 2. When you say demystifying scientific paper writings, now you can see 36 papers we have reviewed. We have received some of the comments from the panelists. I would be happy to share this, maybe not now. The most of the papers, most of the papers are rejected at initial stage or later stage because of the body. That like I'm always saying, when you are actually constructing your manuscript, you must focus on context and you must focus on content. Many of us sometimes either we overlook or we don't follow the guidelines given by the specific journal or given by the specific organizer for their own conference. You just do as a generic format, and you think that this is applicable to all different types of conferences, and that's the mistakes. Mistakes means formatting, styling, font, the linguistic issues, and that alignment, the way you are structuring the whole body of your manuscript. That's become one of the daunting the task and becoming problems for the reviewers. So let us talk how we can construct a paper which is fit for the purpose in terms of body, which is also suitable in terms of content, and then that can attract and that can reduce the rejection rate. So that will be my focus. We are talking about open publishing era. That I remember that even 20 years back, that open access journal, open access publication started early or mid 90s, although it existed before then, but that was the unknown to many millions of people or academics and researchers. One of the biggest problem is that in open access publishing, that sometimes that the millions of people are following you. There's many journals. There are the many reviewers. Think about 10,000 journals now under Scopus. I know that many of your institutions looking for Scopus, but if you look at in the UK context, even many academics, they don't know what is Scopus. That is frankly speaking, because UK has its own business school journal list, and they call it rating A or star 1, star 2, star 3. A lot of people don't bother about Web of Science. But if you are from countries such as South Africa or Africa, even Bangladesh, Pakistan, most of the institutions, because they are what they are planning to become the rated institutions. So they have to be listed within the QS World Ranking. And QS World Ranking, one of the criteria that you have to have the research publications published in Al-Sheba Scopus. That is quite interesting. So you can see what is happening. So there's quite a lot of problems when you talk about in open access, problems in terms of credibility, problems in terms of honesty, problems in terms of integrity, problems in terms of scanning or pricing some of the journals. Those are really good, suitable, and credible and authentic. And second problem is that, that we always say our academics, you have to publish 2, 3. Tell me how many of your institutions have generic research training program for the academics and for the students? In the UK, yes, for the doctoral students, we have the Research Council initiated 28. Normally, most of the university will have the generic research program, training program for all postgraduate and doctoral students. But I have seen many countries, they don't have any such training program, even for their academic staff. How to publish, where to publish, how to structure a manuscript, what should be done within a manuscript or what should not be done. So that type of organized training program is less. Now, less, it doesn't mean that they don't have the intention. I think most of the institutions, they lack the financial resources. Even some of you are coming to the conference, you are paying the registration fee or travel expenses from your own pockets. So many institutions don't have that type of budget to encourage and empower their academics to go and attend a conference. Now, when we talk about the good quality of a paper, I think that's one thing, that your paper is new. There are hundreds, thousands of papers. Why I should bother to read your paper? You know that some of you are coming here, and all of you have understood that you are making a, whether it is a small or big, you are making a contribution to the body of knowledge, or your contribution will help the various users of your research, whether it is corporate sectors or academic institutions, or even sometimes academics or students who will have the special interest in your research. So therefore, contribution is must. You must know what is your contributions. A paper must have the real contributions. You know that sometimes we have extended papers. Sometimes I'm thinking why you should have extended papers if you can write your thoughts, your findings, your contributions, everything in a limited words. Why you should have too many words? So look at those, that nitty gritty. Originality is must, originality or contribution both are, and the relevance, whether your paper is relevant to the industry, whether it is relevant to the sector, whether it is consistent what you have said and what is your findings, what is your depth, clarity, structure, and quality of writing. Nowadays you have many different types of online softwares. I think many of us are not using any types of editing, proofreading tools, or we are not giving to anybody to check your papers or manuscript. We are so much rushing that when there's a deadline, maybe just 1 hour before we are submitting, somehow you have completed your work and then submitted. So that means there is a tension continuously when you are doing something. So you are not, and hence, if I could share with you some of the structure, whether they are following the traditional or academic conventions, then you could reflect that you have done mistakes, because sometimes we are not looking at mirror, to see our face. I think when you ask yourself, when you look you work, then you can see sound logical progression of argument. We found sometimes there is a lack of consistency, what you said and what you will be saying. Theoretical and practical implication must be there. Relevance of reference and timing, I think some of you already raised today, whether the in-text citations are consistent with the list of references, whether the list of references are following any specific reference conventions, whether your references are really current and credible, whether sources are relevant. Those are the things. It's very important. And nowadays, because of globalizations and the world is moving different way, interconnectedness, we would like to see research, when you are presenting at international conference, it has the global focus. It has the international focus, or the local focus can be replicated internationally or different contexts. So that will give something extra added benefits. A good title, keywords, and well-written abstract. I think if I ask people, sometimes I ask my student, tell me, what's the criteria to develop a good title? Is there any reason why you have this title? What's the protocol you have applied? I think there are scientific reasons, why your title should be that, why your title should not be more than 20 words, more than 22 words. What are the variables? How many variables you should have? I think a title should be short, concise, memorable, and it will indicate what to be done. I think your name will indicate who you are. That's most important, isn't it? So a title at the end of the day will immediately tell you the type of methodological choices you have, and then the expected findings sometimes, So that's why it's most important to look at those areas. Now, when we talk about, Gary, do I have another 5-6 minutes? Gary, So let me take another maybe 5
Yes,
6
Dr.
minutes.
Datta, you're okay.
So when we talk about the successful publishing criteria, ladies and gentlemen, just one thing I would like to tell you again, that 75,000 journals are available at the moment within social science areas. However, maximum 10,000 journals are indexed or has some recognitions. So therefore, you better apprise. Many countries, you don't have that type of mechanism to list. I can tell many countries' name. I can also give the names of the good practice. South Africa, they have the organization called DAHET. They have the full list of journals. Those are recognized and indexed. So any academics in South Africa, you are publishing and you want to get the fund from the university. So university check whether that journal or is registered with the DAHET. Same way, some other countries they have, but some countries they don't have. Even the university itself, they don't know or they don't provide clear guidelines where they should publish, which journal is recognized, which journal is not recognized. So therefore, academics, please think ahead during research and do not rush to publish. I can say some of the academics are publishing 5, 6. I don't know whether it is possible humanly to publish that amount of. Is better to publish 2 quality publication every year or less rather than publishing too many. Select a suitable journal, appraise carefully, check that journal has the recognition. Sometimes low categories recognized journals are better known in many parts of the world because of the length of the operation they have. Like I can tell you, Journal of Business and Retail Management is operating more than 17 years. It has more citations. Anyone publishing JBRMR getting more citation than anyone publishing sometimes Scopus listed journal. Unfortunately, that journal was Scopus listed, but they have taken out because of the radar. The radar is the different things because we have been receiving many articles. I am also editor, guest editor for 2 Scopus listed journal. I can see their citation is less than still JBRMR. So you have to look at you have to apply some of the conventional criteria and some of the non-conventional criteria to select the suitable journal. Understanding the journal publication process. I think this is very important. Nowadays, you don't have time to read some of the articles so that you can restructure our article. Please do so. Then write the manuscript, submit the manuscript, and I have personally can tell you when you are getting the responses from the reviewer, some of us don't respond adequately, and you are resubmitting. So research carried out by me and my co-author, we found some of the areas where there is some of the problems. You can see the structure of the papers because of this is 14.24%. Another one is the literature review adequately. The literature review and methodological design, these 2 paired, is the highest why the most of the manuscripts are rejected. Sometimes methodological consideration as aspect are not well justified or they are not connected each other. Then third option was the structure of the paper, and you can see the quality of the problem formulation is not clear, and we have also the small importance, relevance, the scope. Some of the articles, that we are our scope is only retailing or financial risk management. We are receiving article from tourism. We are receiving article from marketing. So you think about why you are spending your time. Read the scope, read some of the articles, then send. And also sometimes abstract is not well structured, 2.5%, and findings are not coming with clarity. That's also another problem. And you know that in your manuscript, the discussion is one of the most important area in which you are comparing and contrasting your key findings to the current literature, and that is where you are contributing. Your contribution can become visible in the discussion section, but we found that some of you are not putting that clearly. I'll skip this one, and also 20 most important results. I'm going to skip this one.
2 minutes, Dr. Datta.
Oh, good. The reasons for death rejection, you can see that, but let me repeat it, lack of faith within the mission. So please, my humble request to you, wherever you are sending, even you are sending to conference, I know that many conferences, they accept anything you send, anything, even you can generate your content by AI, send the abstract, there's a lot of cases, but we humanly look at, review those. So before you send something, please look at the scope. Please look at your contributions, why sometimes lack of contribution, the paper is rejected. Poor quality and underdeveloped. You know, the poor quality in terms of linguistic issues. Most of you are here are non-English speakers. If you tell an Englishman to speak and write in Hindi or Swahili or African language, I think they will find it so difficult. But you are doing the fantastic job. As a non-English speaker, you are writing in English. There is you should be proud about it. But only what we have to do, because our English is not the first language, we must do some good editing. If you can't do it, nowadays there's a lot of softwares, they'll do it for you. Even you don't know how to run a software, give this to someone. Give this someone who has the better understanding. Structural problem, plagiarism. I can tell you many countries, even the universities, academics, that don't have access to the Turnitin. I was shocked, I have been giving many talks in many parts of the world when the academics, they are saying, we don't have any access to check the similarities. Most of the publication, like we are using the E-thematic, I-thematic. So that is the well-known for the, there's many cases, legal cases in many parts of the world when the journals, they don't have the type of facilities to check the similarities range when they're getting the submissions. So please, if you don't have that facilities, there's a lot of software nowadays. You can use it at least to see what is happening. So these are some of the also the sample that A's. Most importantly, I also found there's a small amount of publications are rejected because some of you don't have the good idea about the tables, figures, formulas, and so on. Sometimes I have seen within a small manuscript, you have 10, 12, 15 tables. I don't know why. Why you need too many tables if you can actually explain everything within 2 tables? So sometimes we are putting so much unnecessary information that losing the precision of the beauty of the paper. So I think these are the areas can improve. Avoiding rejection, just identify few possible areas. Journals, follow, find, read, and include. But I would like to give you this formula. Please follow this IMBRAV method to restructure your manuscript. That is proper introduction that should come with your background, the context, aim, rational significance, and so on. Obviously, you will do also the literature review methods, results, and of course, discussion section should be robust, please. And then small things will help you. Title of the research, keep short and meaningful. Abstract, this is important. Keywords, maximum 6. Some of you are putting just 2. Keywords will help you to, scroll down your research. It will increase the visibility via online. Introduction, 2 to 3 pages. It all depends on the requirements by the journals, literature review, methodology, result discussion. So just follow this structure that will help you structure your. Now I think I don't have time, so I'm not going to show this how you can raise. Nowadays I can see many academics, they are not promoting themselves. The promotions is by you. No one is going to come. There's a lot of free tools to promote your research, and there are some. I think that's all, Gary. Maybe I have taken quite a lot of time, so I think that's all. If there's any questions.